Hello, this tutorial will show how to remove objects such as vehicles from a terrain model. The model was created by photometric software from images taken by a drone flying over a quarry. I'm going to click this button so that the center point of the camera won't be reset to the center of the model if I happen to click in a blank area of the screen. Now we'll remove some vehicles that are in this area here. Now we'll zoom in. There's a couple different methods of doing it. We'll click the edit button here, and I'll zoom in a little more and position. Okay, so what I'm going to do is click a vertex any place in the area, it doesn't matter which one, and then I'm going to click the drag box. Now if there's nothing but empty space on the other side of the model here, so I can use the mode for clicking on vertices anywhere. But if there was more model hidden behind here, I would want to use the connected, where I could only click. If I clicked on a vertex here, it wouldn't be selected, but if I clicked on this one, because it's connected by red edge to vertex that's already selected, it will be selected. So with the drag box on, I'll start highlighting. Oops, I just moved the vertex because I forgot to do a Control A, which turns on vertex anywhere. And so now we'll start again, and that should have all the vertices highlighted. They are. So now I'll take off the drag box and I'll do snap to vert, and I want to snap to a vertex. So then I'll go and I'll click on this one, and we can see how all the vertices were moved. If I didn't like that one, I could select another one. I could just go ahead and select on another one, such as this one, and we can see that they're different, and we just got getting very thin and close. So I'll go back to where I was. Okay, and now I'll click the OK button, and so that's all set up, and there's a whole bunch of vertices all sitting on top of one another here, and if I did a weld, it would weld them all into one vertex. So now I'm going to go up and I'm going to do this vehicle here. So we'll pick one vertex, and I'm going to pick a different one. Okay, I'm still in anywhere mode, so I can just go back to the drag box, and we'll highlight a whole bunch of them. And maybe I'll take this one too. Now I'm going to do Control E, which turns me into erase mode, and then I'm going to select this vertex here, and it's the selection was removed, and it's back to being an unselected vertex. And we'll turn drag box off, and now I'll go to snap to vert and click on this one. Okay, and now we can see that the model's all raised up in the air, because this one's way up in the air. But I'm going to accept that, and I'm going to do plus weld, so all the vertices are welded together where there's more than one in the same spot. Okay, now with this set this way, I can now change the height. You can see it says it's vertex first. We're back to selecting the first vertex, and we're out of anywhere mode. Now I can this allows me to make changes in the local coordinate system for the mesh, or I could go to world and do it in world coordinates, but I want to stay in local coordinates. And now if I'm very careful, I can go to the Z button, which is the vertical axis, and I can slowly decrease it, and we can see it going down. And as everything is working very slow, it's very hard to adjust that way, but you can see it's down below. So what I'm going to do is okay, we're on pick vert. I'm going to go and I'll click on this one. It's arbitrary, I could use any one I wanted, and I'm going to highlight the Z and do a Control C to copy that value. Then I'm going to go back to this vertex here, select it, and then do a Control V to paste in the value I had, and then press the Enter key. And there it's adjusted. And so now if I rotate, we can see, okay, it looks all pretty good. So I'm going to come up out of there, exit that mode, and that's what we look like. And if you were going to a color printer, you might accept that, or you might want to take it into software that you can do UV coordinates and map some different part of the texture in. AccuTrans has a very simple method of applying UV coordinates and working on an 8K texture where you're mapping on just a very small part of the texture. It's not working very good, so that needs modifications. So now we'll come over to this rock here, and we'll remove that from the scene. So I'll go to Tools, Triangle, Delete, and then we'll delete some triangles. Let's see. Okay, so I'll hold down the Shift key, click with the left mouse button, selects all those, delete those. Okay, so you can also get rid of it by cutting it away and making a hole. And so I'll do OK. And then I'll go back into edit mode and go to add triangle, and if we're going to click on the vertex rather than any spot on the model, and if I go in a clockwise direction, the triangle will look white, which is the visible side of the triangle, and we're looking at the visible side of all the other triangles, so that's what we want. And so then I can just say keep triangle. Okay, we've got that one. Now if I went in a counterclockwise direction, it's red. I don't want the red, I want white, so I'll just hit flip, and then I'll say keep. Then we'll do one more. Okay, keep triangle. Okay, we'll call that complete for now and exit out. And you'll see the color is it's textured, but it's using the color at the 0, UV position, which is at the bottom left-hand corner of the texture image. And so whatever color is there is the color you'll see when you put in the triangles. Now, we could also fill the hole by copying in triangles that are already textured. And so I'll go to Tools 1 and Triangle Copy. Now we want some triangles to fit in here. So what I'll do is I'll take these three, okay, then I'm going to click on Copy to New Layer, and I'm going to merge this new layer and our original layer together later. And so I want to use a name that's lower in alphabetical order than for the texture I want to merge into. And so I'm just calling it Z1. And okay, now I have this, and if I turned off the texture layer, oh, there's the layer we copied. So I'll put that back on. We're done, so I'll say OK. And now I'll go click on the edit page, click on adjust, and now I can move. We're in local mode. I could do it in local or world, and in local mode it looks like, okay, first I want to select the texture I want to move, and that's Z1, and it's hidden. When the rendering happens, the layer that's at the highest part in the list gets rendered first, and then the other one gets rendered, so we can't see it because they're both occupying the same spot. Now I'll click on the Move button, set it on 0.1, and our Y is going in that, positive Y is going in that direction. So if I move on positive Y, there's our object. What I'm going to do is zero all and rotate it so that we're upright. And I'm going to go to world coordinates. And now if I move in X, there we go, and come down a bit in Z, we'll call that good. Okay, and now we'll go back into edit mode. And I right clicked on this one to select it. Now I'll click on the vertex, click on snap to vert. I want to put it down in this corner. Okay, select this one, snap to vert, and say okay, and this one, snap to vert, okay, and now, okay, we'll take this one, snap to vert, okay, the tools were all made for just occasional use, just making a few modifications, and so you get to do an awful lot of clicking working around. I'm going to do a weld, and now I'm going to go to pick edge. Now I could do divide edge, which is just put the new point in the middle, or I can do a divide snap, so I can snap the point someplace, and I'm going to snap it there. Okay, and I'll say okay, and now I'm still in pick edge, so we'll do this edge and do a divide snap. Okay, and one more. invite snap. Okay, and exit out. Okay, so there we have different ways of doing the model, and depending on there should have been more textures here, but the way the vertices got merged together, they used the ones that were off of the first triangles I put in. I should have done it in the opposite order and left the new triangles till last, and then we would have seen more texture. But this is another couple methods of how you can remove objects from a terrain. This completes this tutorial. Goodbye. Hello, I'm back again. I forgot to finish the tutorial. I'll click on the layers page, and we have two layers here, and we have to merge the triangles into the model. And if we just come back here, if we look, you can see that with the mistake I made before, we have some of it is UV textured, the same as the triangles we moved in, and the others are all textured at the origin of the UV system. And so now we'll turn both layers on, and now we'll merge them together, and this layer will merge into this one because the texture is the top layer. And so since they have the same materials on them, I could use merge same, merge select, merge all, and I'll just do a merge select, and we're down to our original layer, and the other one is in. And now this completes the tutorial. Goodbye.